This is our CCTV Operations Center. These monitors that you're observing are different transit centers of ours, and then we also have cameras that are on our property as well. And what we're doing is we're recording all of this information 24/7.
Bill Burke is the chief of police for San Diego's Metropolitan Transit System. In August, he agreed to show us the agency's Surveillance Network Center, though he asked we not disclose the exact location. His operation draws from more than 7,000 cameras located on board trolleys and throughout the agency's fleet of buses, and live camera feeds come in from the 30 MTS transit stations scattered throughout the county. But here's the thing. Aside from recording video, the agency is also listening. There are small signs the size of greeting cards on board the buses and trolleys telling passengers they are being recorded. But the news about audio recording came as a surprise to almost all the passengers we interviewed.
And did you know ever that you were being recorded?
Never.
Oh, I didn't know it before.
Never noticed?
Yeah, I never noticed.
The video camera, no. The audio, yes. I had no idea about that.
MTS says the technology has helped catch crimes like vandalism and sexual assaults, and in turn has led to arrests. The agency also believes it helps prevent crimes too. Charles Graham has been driving MTS buses for 37 years. He said whenever riders act out on his route, he reminds them they're on camera.
Usually they'll settle down and sit down, and then they'll look at the cameras for the rest of the day, you know. But they help. They help a great deal.
Cameras on public transit systems aren't a new development, but microphones are. The issue sparked a legal battle in Baltimore earlier this year between the city's transportation agency and privacy advocates. Burke says here in San Diego, there's nothing to worry about.
If you and I are sitting in the bus having a conversation, we're not going to hear that. Usually what happens is, you know, if it's a crime or an incident, people become boisterous, and it's more likely you're going to hear the conversation.
The local ACLU was unaware of the scope of the MTS operation until we told them. The agency's executive director, Kevin Keenan, said technology like this is worrisome.
If you look at any one surveillance program by itself, it's easy to shrug it off and say, oh, that's technology these days. But when you look at the totality of these systems, you start to see a picture of a society that is much different than any of us imagined or want to be in, and yet we're getting there.
In the wake of the NSA revelations, we've learned that all manner of surveillance data, from facial recognition devices to license plate readers to geolocation data on cell phones, can be warehoused, analyzed, cross-referenced, and flagged with little to no human involvement. MTS's onboard cameras and microphones are not monitored like the station cameras, but the footage and audio is stored for a period of up to several weeks in case an incident needs to be reviewed or turned over to the police.
To my knowledge, MTS doesn't have policies restricting what types of information can be collected, when that needs to be destroyed. All of those types of policies and then independent monitoring to make sure those policies are adhered is what is needed.
MTS said they don't have any written policy on access other than the audio and video can be requested as a public record, and only a handful of staff are allowed to download it. Back at the surveillance center, Burke finished his tour and went into another room with his assistant chief to prepare for a sit-down interview with us. The two were alone, and Burke joked that if the interview got tough, he had his gun.
Hey, I got my gun.
Then he remembered that the small microphone attached to his shirt was still recording.
I wasn't threatening you. I was making a joke. Yeah, I realized, oh my God, you got me on here. You know?
How easy it is to forget. For inewsource, I'm Brad Racino.